plenty to get to. I want to get to these the comments by Scotty Montgomery because speaking of well-spoken, speaking of the guy that I'm very high on, it's Scotty Montgomery. Like, he's going to be a head coach one day. He deserves to. Kind of came out of nowhere. He was the running backs coach for the Colts, and at least for me, I did not hear much about him. Coach Jonathan Taylor, now he's with the Lions. He's assistant head coach, gets a promotion, and I think it's well-deserved. What he's done, and I was at camp with Lucas Booner and Mike one day, it was a couple weeks ago, and watching Scotty Montgomery, and Gabby and Matt could speak more on this, dude, he can coach. Like, he's hard on these dudes.
Listen,
and he's he's well-spoken, number one, obviously, when he speaks to the media. He speaks like a head coach. But he's a great coach for these guys. Like, it's kind of like, it reminds me a little of a Deuce Staley.
That's what I was about to say. I understand we all love Deuce Staley, but Scotty Montgomery is not that far off. Like, they replace him with just as good of a coach, in my opinion, because the intensity that he coaches with, he's a no bullshit type of coach.
Yes.
Like Deuce was too, but Deuce would kind of have fun with it. Not saying that Scotty isn't out there like having a good time with his players, but like, that dude's strictly fucking business.
Yeah, he is.
He's not fucking around. Like, if you mess up his drill, he is going to call you out right now and make the whole running back team do it again. So I love Scotty Montgomery as a hire. I think this is a guy that the Lions are going to want to keep around. And I think he's going to be a name that kind of gets more recognition around the league and will be a hotter commodity when teams are in need of a running back coach or possibly an offensive coordinator, because with this offensive line, his running backs are going to be looking very good.
Actually, play that clip. This is Scotty Montgomery.
Do you want the one where he's talking about the offensive line or David Montgomery? And
we'll start with the O-line. This is he spoke on the offensive line and how they impressed him.
Our offensive line, I really, I've seen movement in offensive lines in the run game, but the collection of being able to protect it and run it the way that we're able to run the football and protect the quarterback has really stood out to me.
See, look at that. And again, for Scotty speaking about this offensive line, I know we're accustomed to it because we've had this unit for about a year, at least with Panay, and now you're getting, you're adding more pieces. They just drafted Colby Sorsdahl, and there's a lot of hope for this offensive line. But he made a great point too, and he mentioned it. He said, quote, "I haven't been around a lot of offensive lines that can both pass block and run block at an elite level. Typically, you'll see offensive lines do one or the other." And Braylon mentioned this on E&E yesterday, back when he was with the New York Jets. That offensive line could run block really well, but pass pro, they weren't great.
Yeah.
This line's offensive line, dude, they can do both.
And what do Penei Sewell and Frank Ragnow do especially well? Run blocking. Penei Sewell's already one of the best run blocking tackles in the NFL, and I think he's going to take that next step this year as a player and even as a run blocker. I think he has another gear. Frank Ragnow, of course, he's got that degenerative toe, but at the same time, I still think he's going to play. He does.
Bro, degenerative toe?
Is that a fact?
I mean, you're not wrong, but I mean, degenerative toe.
They literally say it's inoperable, Lucas.
Flannel, I'm not saying you're wrong. It's just it's a flannel saying for sure. That's all I'm saying.
No,
degenerative toe.
I appreciate that. But the point is, he's still going to be able to play, but he's never going to quite be 100%. But he is still a damn good run blocker. Of course, you got Decker, you have Jonah Jackson, and Vaitai coming back, hopefully for the whole season. That offensive line is currently constructed and healthy. Like I said, its ceiling is the second best offensive line in the NFL. And I think fully healthy, their floor is like top 5. So this is going to be the lifeblood of this team. This is going to be the lifeblood of this running game. And I cannot wait to just see the amount of pancakes that Penei Sewell and Frank Ragnow are going to lay at defensive linemen, especially week 1 at Kansas City. If Chris Jones isn't playing, they are dead, Kansas City.
They are dead.
Because without Chris Jones, that defensive line is pretty damn mid. Can we agree with that? Maybe even worse than mid.
Because they don't have Frank Clark anymore either.
I mean, yeah, it's nothing Frank Ragnow can't handle with a degenerative toe. I mean, like, he's gonna be able to take on that Chiefs defensive line without Chris Jones. I'll tell you that.
Did you say pancakes?
What's that?
You say pancakes?
Pancakes.
Pancakes.
Yes. Pancakes.
Bro, while you're on the camera, can you do like the work of art that you somehow can manage to say Big V's government name? Can you pronounce that? It's just a work of art. I'm sorry.
Halapula Vaitai?
Yeah.
Oh.
I could never.
Yeah, run behind that.
How many times have you practiced that in the mirror?
A couple thousand.
Dude, Matt says it so well.
He's like traumatized for the moment where he's gonna be like interviewing, and then Big V's walking up, and he's gonna pull it out. And
He's the only one to nail it.
Imagine he says it. Broder says it and it's just wrong.
Yeah.
He's just like, it's not.
I
he's
try.
not-
It's the attempt.
He's like not even close. But you know what? That's why we love Broder. He could just do random things like that. Pronounce Vitai's name correctly.
Man.
I've only called him Vitai. I don't know how to pronounce his entire
Big
name.
V. Big V.
But I'm excited to see him back out there. First time that this whole entire unit will be playing, counting Vitai this season if they could stay healthy. And I know someone mentioned, and I want to address this comment. I forgot who it was, but they said we've had an offensive line since Bob Quinn. I think Penei Sewell.
Don't bring that name up.
Well, I would argue that Penei Sewell completed
Bob
this offensive line. Now you have two, borderline
Dude,
elite or
fucking
elite
chin.
tackles. Like before, you didn't have a guy like Penei Sewell. So I would argue that. So after Brad drafted Penei, he made a strength and even more of a strength. And like you said, Sam, the floor for this offensive line, you say top 5, man, I might even say like top 3.
Wow.
They're really good. They are. And that's if, again, that right guard position and whoever it's going to be, Vitai or Graham Glasgow, whoever the hell's playing right guard, can play well. And the rest of the guys, I don't really have questions about.
Yeah, Graham Glasgow, he's the one backup that I would say is somebody that I'm not worried about. I think Graham Glasgow could at least come in at the center position or the guard position, which, Vitai and Ragnow, they do have injury concerns. He's a guy that I think could fill in very, very admirably because he has been a starter in this league. And I know, Lucas, we never mentioned the name of Bob Quinn, but we have to be fair. He did make 3 very, very good offensive line picks. He drafted Jonah Jackson, Frank Ragnow, and
did.
Taylor Decker.
He did.
Not Brad Holmes. He did a lot of things wrong, but those were good picks. You got to admit it.
Bob, when I hear the name Bob Quinn, I just start seeing red.
I get it.
No, but
Dude lacked a chin,
but he could draft
fat
O linemen.
fucking face with a
He can draft O linemen, whether you hate
Matt
him or not.
Patricia. I don't care. You bring Matt Patricia along with you, you got problems. That's where I draw the line. When you are like, when you look in your general manager, that's your opportunity. You bring in Matt Patricia.
Yeah, I know.
Disgusting.
I know the place Matt Patricia can go, and it's SMA, and I'll tell you about SMA, the sports marketing agency.